This is gonna be on all the YouTubes for the pull of the forever.
Welcome to Cool Factor Cards, everybody. We are so excited today. Today is huge.
This is the big one, man. We are joined by Jessica and Cavelle, who had the big one, the hit, the pull of forever, the 101 Wemby, the black 101 out of Prizm. Thank you guys for joining us today.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you guys for having us on.
Oh, heck yeah. We're amped about it. We want to hear your story. And before we do that, we really want to get a chance to get to know you guys like as collectors, as individuals. So I'd love to hear, simply how'd you get into collecting, how long you've been in the hobby, what brought you, to this point in your life, really, quite honestly.
Okay, so
he's the collector.
Yeah,
I'm collector by proxy.
Proxy, yeah.
Like,
but she always supports everything I do and stuff. So it makes it easier to collect when your partner or significant other and stuff are about the same.
Support.
They just want to see you happy. Mm-hmm. So I got back in. Everyone always, between 4 and 12 years old, I was always collecting baseball cards. Ricky Henderson was my favorite player. Barry Bonds. Was living in the Bay Area and stuff. Yeah, Ricky Henderson. But lived in the Bay Area.
Oh, I see that. Check that out.
Yeah, so I used to collect a ton of baseball cards just to complete sets, like complete a whole team set and do all that. Got away from it, just got into other stuff, and then my son, that he's now like going to Sac Stage 19, and then he liked to collect action figures, like a lot of collectible figures and like Bioshock, all those intricate stuff. So I started following him, but I was doing it with like wrestling figures. So I started collecting wrestling figures, and it just started taking up too much space in the man cave, and I just need to change it to something else. Like I was running out. I was getting every figure, all the WW Elite, Mattel, all that stuff, because I'm a completionist. I like to complete certain sets.
Who's your favorite wrestler?
Man, Carmelo Hayes. He's an NXT, right? So he's not even like a big that's how much I watch wrestling though. Like I watch all the indie stuff and all the other stuff. So I really that was my prized possession before this Wemby was a Carmelo Hayes black 101 Prizm that I have.
Oh, you had a 101 too.
Yeah, see, it's like it's a card that I got cards that are worth more and stuff, but there's certain cards that I like,
So you started collecting. So you got off the wrestling and you started getting into basketball?
Yeah, well, I still collect wrestling to this day, and I still will. But then I started getting into basketball, and then I start getting into breaks and stuff, and then that started triggering some stuff. Now I'm in some stuff I'm not even supposed to be. Yeah, now I'm in a soccer break for no reason or an F1 break. So.
No, he didn't do
that. I didn't
do all that. It's tempting though, but I didn't do all that.
It is. It's addicting. It's very addicting. I got into it and did a couple, and after my first one, I was like, okay, there's another one in like 20 minutes. Let's go. And I kept like going, the next day, same thing. It's just, it becomes super addicting. It's like gambling almost.
Jessica, you got into it through him.
Absolutely.
What do you collect? What's your PC?
I have one PC and one PC only, and it's Tiana Taylor, the Leaf card.
Yeah, she was.
I have 3 1-of-1s. I love
3.
Her.
Wow.
Okay, so 1-of-1s is a theme with you people.
Yeah.
1-of-1s, high-end products.
Because we got into the last year's Leaf Pop Century, and we were just like, with all the, and then it was easy.
No, I've seen it. It's wild what comes out of that stuff.
Yeah.
Super fun to rip, right? Super interesting. And
everything's almost auto. You just, it's just a fun rip. So we bought like a case of that. And then after that, she started doing Tiana Taylor.
Mm-hmm.
Now, being a couple collect, we're a couple who collects. We don't run into other couples who collect quite often. What has collecting done for like your relationship? Like, tell me about, how that kind of on a week by week basis, how collecting is kind of part of you guys' lives.
Well, I mean, since the Wemby's been pulled,
I kind of mentioned before. I mean, I want
to know. No. I'm just joking. I mean, anything that he ever gets super passionate about, I always just get super passionate about, just because it's like he's like my best friend. So it rubs off in a natural way. And I've always been into sports. I've always been into all of that as well. Like I was an athlete and I, watched basketball. I was into that, but not the extent that he does at all. But it was just natural. If he's into this game, I'm into that game. If he's into these movies, I'm into that movie. And it's not even forced. It's just what we're naturally into.
We have a pretty similar relationship.
I was gonna say I completely understand. Same thing. I was not really into basketball whatsoever. We got together and now I'm like a hardcore basketball person. I don't even want to break anything else. I just want to have basketball. It's terrible. I definitely think it's like brought us together in a weird way, like especially doing like the YouTube channel. It's really brought us together. We have a lot of fun with it, but we're the same thing. We're like best friends, everything that we like basically do everything.
And
together.
It says something to me, you know, I know she loves me because that's the only reason she's doing this darn thing. You know, if it's important to me, it's important to her, and that says something. Now you mentioned you've got a son. Do you have just one child?
Yes, a prior relationship. He's like I said, about to turn 20. He's about to be a sophomore at Sac State and stuff. So
is he a collector as well of sports cards?
No, not sports cards. But just collecting. You know, he's the one who taught me how to complete sets and how to find out what you need to get and to actually research and stuff. That's part of it too. You have to kind of know how not to waste your time, what product, you know, and maybe it might be a good deal on eBay. He put me on all this other stuff. So I always give him a lot of credit for getting me back into collecting because I thought I was doing it just to spend time with him to get it back. But then he's like, Dad, what do you like? And I was like, I like wrestling. He's like, well, get this wrestling figure over here. And then all of a sudden, I got back.
Now we have all the wrestling figures, every single one.
Yeah, my whole
That's cool. That kind of flowed up for you guys through him into you because we're having the experience. Our oldest is 7, and then we have a 4-year-old as well. And the 7-year-old is now getting into collecting because we're getting into collecting.
Big time.
And then, of course, he's a YouTube nut. So as soon as we start this channel, he's like watching, you know.
He's like, there's a new episode on. We got to watch it.
He's watching our episodes. He's having all this fun.
You guys kind of remind me of us, too, because I was talking about the 101s, right? We also both kind of have that champagne taste. And when I first got involved in the whole thing, I didn't want like $2, $3 cards. Like I just kind of went straight for, you know, the high level. So I can completely relate with that one.
Well, let's move on to what we're all here for. We want to hear the story of the Wemby, but I would really appreciate it if you would set the scene. Like, what did your day look like? Like, how did this happen?
No,
it's a story.
You want to do it?
Yeah.
She can do it.
Okay. It's a story. So the scene, Prizm comes out, right? Immediately order a box straight from Panini. It gets delivered while I'm at a work conference. So I'm not here. And he's like, babe, I want to rip it. And I was like, no, wait for me. And then I'm like, go ahead, do what you do. It's good. Like, rip it. Go ahead. And he's like, all right. And then he rips it and says nothing to me. And so I knew it was garbage, right? Prizm be prisming.
Yeah.
And so nothing was pulled. And then he comes and picks me up from the airport. Or wait, no, you said, I want another box.
Yeah, I called. Yeah.
Yeah. And you're like, I think
was
I'm
trying
just
to
going
butter her up. Like,
yeah.
I was like, yeah, you know, there's still this, and the Wemby Silvers is going for this much. So I'm like trying to plead my own, like, I think I'm going to get another box. You know?
And they're not cheap, right?
Yeah,
no.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. And so he was like, I think I'm just going to send Tommy a message on IG and see if he has anything. And I was like, go ahead.
So the first one was the bet.
Yeah. First one was
the stink.
I said, oh, she was like, yeah, go ahead, do it. And then I never even texted her back after like how I went. I was like, oh, I'm about to go do it. And I was like, man, why did I even spend $1,000? Like, it was horrible. It was like one of the worst boxes ever. But
usually he'll text me the hits.
Right? Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I got this. Like, but he said it was radio silence, and I was like, oh, I'm not gonna even ask.
Not even worth the highlights. Yeah.
No, not even. So then he was like, okay, I'm gonna DM Tommy and see. And Tommy was like, there's 7. I have 7 boxes.
So NorCal Sports, and Tommy, great person, everything. I messaged NorCal Sports and I was like, do you guys got any boxes of Prizm? And they was like, yeah, we got 7 boxes. And then he was like, give me a number 1 through 7. And I was like, I text Joe.
He texted me and he says, give me a number.
Important.
Yeah. Right. And he said, give me a number from 1 through 7. I typed out 2 because he loves even numbers.
Mm-hmm.
And then I deleted it and I typed out 4 and then I deleted it. And then I just sent 7. And I just said,
oh my God.
7. I know. And then he was like, why did that take you so long?
I was like, it's just a number. I'm like, babe, can you let me know? So then I messaged 7. And he held it for me for the next day or two. Like, I was like, okay, cool. I'll come over. I'll come pick it up on Saturday. And
that's when I flew home from my conference on Saturday. He picked me up from the airport.
This close to missing it. That is crazy.
There's other
so
other
many
times
other parts.
though.
Yeah,
there's other times. So the first one is, what if he waited for me to come home to rip it? We would have never got that second box.
Yeah, see, me being yeah, see,
so
that was good.
No, really, that's honestly true. Because if we would have ripped it together, we would have get another one.
Yeah,
different energy, different timeline. Yeah. We're
Yeah.
getting to the Marvel what if scenarios.
Yeah.
And that's the crazy part about this story, because there's so many what ifs. So he picks me up from the airport, and then he was like, let's go to Folsom and get the box. Tommy set it aside. So then we get to the Folsom NorCal Sports Cards. We get there, and then he said, hey, it's Cavelle. Tommy set aside a box for me. And then the guy at the counter, was his brother?
Yes,
his brother.
yeah.
His brother. He was like, oh, we actually have 2 additional boxes if you want to change your number. Final box. Right?
That was a
final box. And we were like, no. Like, just give us the box we set aside.
Oh, thank God.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So then we take the box and we go out to eat afterwards. So the box is in the trunk, and after we eat, we drive home. We're like a long hour from home. So then we drive home, and then the box is sitting on our kitchen counter for 36 hours. We don't even open it because we don't want to get prismed.
Our paninis.
How did you take 36 hours?
2 days, and then you go.
I couldn't wait 36 minutes.
36 hours. I'd be like,
no, it's 30. We let it bake.
We were like, it's fine. Let's just let it sit. So then we were watching wrestling, Elimination Chamber, right? WWE. So it was on Sunday. And so we're sitting on our little table, and we have our little mat, and we do our little, we have 8 packs, right? You pick 4, I pick 4. Was it 8?
12.
12.
Oh, wait, is it?
6
yeah,
and 6.
Packs, yeah.
And we have the box right there that it came out of. Yeah. And so we say, hey, I shuffle them up. He picks his, I pick mine. Then we get to work. And I'm like, ooh, I got a numbered. Ooh, I got something else. And he was like, man, this is ass. Like we're getting
it was bad. It was Gallinari out at 99. Like there was some. I was like, ooh, this is a bad box. Like everything numbered is like a 4-year, not all-star vet, and it was just like
you're like, not again, not again.
Yeah.
And then he goes, babe, our life just changed.
Oh my God.
And I said, no. And I just started screaming no at him because I knew what that card was. Like, he didn't tell me the card. He didn't tell me.
You put it down on the table?
He put it down back in the stack. Yeah. He just set it down because he shakes a lot.
I shake a lot.
He's
yeah. So
I'd be so scared to touch it.
Yeah, that's how I was just like, hey, I was like, babe, our life changed.
Our life just changed. And I said, no. And then that's when that video was. Like, I was like, oh, I gotta put this is gonna be on YouTube.
I wasn't even thinking about recording at all. I was like, babe, I was like, our life changed. She's like, no. I'm like, babe.
I knew it.
At this point, were you just like walking around your house like,
woo? No, we were silent.
Or were you still in shock?
We were silent.
Super shocked. Because I wanted to make sure my eyes didn't deceive me. Because I just saw the back and I saw the window, and then I was like, okay. Cool.
Oh yeah, no. I
didn't go like, oh, I wasn't even. I was like, man, okay, no, I don't need to touch this.
In the kitchen, and he was like, I'm out,
and I was like, babe, let me know if this is right. That's why even at the end of the thing, I'm like, a top loader, and she's like, a top loader. I'm like, I'm over like searching for stuff to grab the stuff.
I would have been calling somebody, like, somebody come handle this for me because I don't know what to do.
Who was the first person that you guys called?
Your mom.
I called my mom.
That's all.
She even know what you were talking about?
Like, she didn't even know what it was, but she got like, I was like, she's like, okay. I was like, no, mom, this card is like this. Yeah. And she's like, okay, love you. Like, what do you need? Like, she didn't know exactly. I was like, no, mom, this is. She's like, oh, you got a ticket and stuff. I'm like, no, mom, this is bigger. This is so now she's so into it and stuff. And that's just the beauty of pulling a card like that. Like all my family, everybody now is just rallying. Like, I don't know. It's really
everybody's suddenly in the card game in your family.
Oh yeah. I'm getting all those messages of. I'm like, man, I already know that, man. But I'm trying to still act like it. They're like, oh yeah, look at this card sold for. Grandpa might have this card. Like there's always a lot of other stuff now, so it's fun though. I love it.
Well, you mean like relatives were like pulling cards, like telling stories?
Out of everywhere now. Like, boxes and storage and all this other.
Yeah.
I've been having to look at so many binders, and like for some reason now they think I'm like the card aficionado when I just see. I'm like, okay, yeah, no.
That's right. So, what about your son? How did he take it?
Oh, he's not into sports at all. So he didn't even get but he gets the gravity of one-on-one. Like he knows exactly like, oh, okay, this. And he was like, he was like, I know you want to hold it for a while. Like, cause that's how I am. Like it wasn't like, as soon as I got the car, I was like, oh, we're going to make some money and stuff right now. Like I've got messages and everybody saying I'm not the smartest person for not selling it right away and stuff like that. But in me, I'm the collector in me. I'm just happy to own the card, and just whatever.
It is so much bigger than a card at this point. It's a story. The whole Wemby thing, it's a phenomenon, right?
Oh yeah, and I love him as a player. Like that's the thing too. Like me and my brother was talking about him before, like 3 years ago. We were talking about like we watch a lot of hoop and stuff. We were like, man, the game's going to change when he comes here, and everything's been happening. Like it's been going that way, and it looks like that. So.
No, I remember because we're Hornets fans and we got a second pick in the draft. We're not upset about getting Brandon Miller as pick number 2. But they did the lottery and everybody was just like, that lottery day was who's going to get Wemby? Who's going to get Wemby? And it was absolutely, he was known. He was going to be, a generational talent from the beginning. To reference that video you took, you called it the pull of forever.
Yeah.
And Jessica and I had a conversation before the interview. We were talking about that because I loved the phrasing, but there is some really big truth to that. Because if you compare, Wemby had a great rookie season, obviously. He's on the Spurs. They're not doing the best, but he personally has done fantastic. Yeah. And there's, high hopes for his future career. He hasn't accomplished much, but he's got a great path ahead of him. When you look at other greats in the sport, your Kobe's, your MJ's, stuff like that. If you were chasing cards of theirs, there is no black one of one Michael Jordan. Prizm wasn't even a thing, not like it is today back then. So there is something really special about this card because it's not just, a black 101, but it's just the black 101 of a generational talent who there is no comparison to it in the entire card hobby.
Absolutely. And it's like when you break, you're kind of like, oh, I see black. Okay. Like sometimes it is and sometimes it's not. And it's just like, it's crazy to me. Like how you guys obviously still have the card. Yes. Yeah. And you're going to hang on to it. We talked about that and how you're collectors, but like eventually at some point, if you do decide to, like that changes your, like just even now that changes your life in such a scope. Like, how do you even wrap your mind around that? That is so intense to me.
I mean, it changed our life since we pulled it in the sense of like everything that has happened since then, right? Yeah. Maybe not monetarily right at this moment right now, but just everything and just knowing that we have it, like wild.
It's got to be. I can only imagine.
And this is a health relationship. Like I said, my family, my mom, dad, they're all into it. My brother, everybody. We always have talks about it every day. Oh, how did Wemby do? How did this do? And we're just always checking up. And my mom, like it's just, and I really like it because it opened up some doors. And like I said, it will get sold eventually. But it's just, I'm just not in no rush like that. Like I'm not shopping it to auction houses or
we're not
doing that
saying
stuff like
numbers
that.
to people. We're not saying, oh, we did this.
Everybody else has said
let it play. Yeah.
We've not said one number to anyone, but apparently all the other buyers have told each other the numbers. So
that's probably a small circle.
Exactly.
I remember the moment I heard about it. We were in our backyard and we were actually fishing. And he goes, can you believe this? He's like, there's this couple and they pulled the 101 black Wemby. And I was like, shut up. Are you kidding? And I'm literally like, I can't believe what I'm hearing. I'm like, this is insane. I'm like, think about their lives. And like,
we have the whole, like, what would we have done? What if it was us? We were sharing in the fantasy of it.
It is crazy. It is super crazy.
We look at each other sometimes. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but we look at each other. No. We just say, Wemby 101,
and we just start laughing, and then we just go about, and then we keep going. But we still try to just live our lives.
Normal.
Because but then we'll look at each other like when something like Wemby 101. And then that's like
that totally sounds like something we do.
How does that go forward with like breaking wax anymore? Like, do you have any?
There was 4 packs left of that box that we didn't end up opening until like 2 weeks later. And then
for real?
We used to go to Walmart or Target or anything, and like I'll be like, "Hey, babe, I'm about to go back." Now I'm with her in the makeup department. I'm chilling. I ain't even going. Like I used to
earlier, you won the game.
Like in the store, it's like I magnetized towards all the cards, and I'll leave her. Now I've just been, "Hey, what's up, babe? We're chilling." Like I don't. Right now, I have no desire other than like wrestling cards. Yeah. Like that's kind of the thing that because it just
you got to pivot to keep that alive.
So much stuff, and I don't know.
You did go to a card show though. I saw you post on social media. You went over to a card show.
Yes.
Tell me about that.
It was fun. It was fun. It was a little hot in there, and
it was overwhelming.
It was a little overwhelming. So that even in that video, I really only spent like 20 minutes. Like I just did around, said hi to a couple people, and then just kind of left. Like
so, you cracked no wax since?
No.
Oh my goodness.
I got to imagine it changes your perspective of
everything. Changes it does.
Because it's like for what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And because I'm still a collector at heart, but then still like there's just a lot of now it just makes me look at some product differently. So that's even with like that's why I like ripping wrestling and stuff, because almost everybody's a star,
Yeah,
so
you're
opening stuff when I'm opening, some other stuff, and I get a number to this player and stuff like that. Like it gets discouraging. So
you're like that retired athlete who takes up golf, where it's
there you go,
you're Tom Brady, where it's like I won 7 Super Bowls. Like, what am I going to do next? I don't know. Play golf. Like I want to do something different.
That's why I'm just doing my wrestling cards. I'm now going to start doing complete sets of that, and I do like some UFC cards too, but I'm kind of getting out of basketball and stuff.
We also have a lot of products.
Yeah, we have a lot.
Like we've bought a lot.
Yeah.
Like it's not like this
like
is
sitting on the shelf, you mean, or
no, ripped.
Life.
Yeah.
Like
I have enough where I can stop.
Some good cards.
Yeah, she always tells me, she's like, "Oh, anytime you want to get in a break now, I could just put a pack of cards and I'll get you." Yeah, and I'll put like, "Oh, I didn't even know. I forgot I had this." Like I went through a stage where I was just buying so much stuff.
Yeah, it's not like it was just a one-off thing. Like he buys product. Like we have a ton.
I always get in all the breaks.
So statistically speaking, you were the guy.
Have you ever thought about being like a vendor at one of the shows?
Well, I have an eBay store. I sell stuff on eBay and stuff like that. But then now, actually, that's a good question, because I am going to start going. Then my dad wants to do all that. Like he's a real talkative person. Me, after a while, I'll start.
His social battery goes
quickly. It drains pretty quick. So we're actually going to, and starting in June and stuff, we're going to start doing local shows and then start going from there. That's another thing about getting the card is like it made me and my dad's relationship even stronger and stuff. And he's like, "Boy, I remember when we used to take you to the card shows and this. Now we're doing this, and I'm taking him to the card show." So it's like a reverse of everything. So it's really cool.
Sweet.
I love
That's
that.
nice. Now, you did say, I got a question. You mentioned that, it'll sell eventually. Letting it go, I imagine, would be something that would be hard for me too. I would want like a souvenir, like a memento, is like, we had it. Is there another Wemby that you would get to replace it that was like, this is like we got a blue or we got a red or something else?
I was a simple man. I just wanted a Wemby silver, man. That's all I wanted. So even after, I might just to see the curtain,
buy a silver,
just to even remember, just a nice solid color one. Nothing too much. I don't want to dip back into whatever I make to go buy another Wemby, because the prices are sky high.
Yeah, it's not like you need to go pick up gold, but like getting a nice silver seems like a good
silver. Yeah, this is just a nice silver. Silver's like an Air Force One to me. You can always wear that. It's a classic. It's a classic little thing. So I'll probably just get like a silver of him just to remember. We still got the box. We still got the pack. All the stuff.
Videos, the
everything.
Photos. And it was such a special experience that we were able to experience together. Like we're not breakers. We weren't filming it. You know what I mean? Like we did that together. And I think that's the best memento you can have.
Yeah.
That's cool. Now, moving on. Now, you got to experience something that, apart from ripping the 1-1, you got to experience something most collectors wouldn't either, which is doing the walkthrough service at PSA. So you went down to Santa Ana to the headquarters, right?
Yep.
Tell me what that was like doing the walkthrough service. Like, who greeted you? What was that experience like?
Yeah, it was actually super simple. You walk up, there's 2 receptionists, there's heavy security. Oh yeah, we did have to make an appointment. Yeah, so you do have to have a connect to make an appointment.
Mhm.
And then which Tommy did. That was on Tommy, so he had a connection there because he has a business account. And so we get there, there's 2 people, you check in on an iPad, we waited in the lobby for a little bit, and then they take you back to a collector's lounge. And so then the lounge is where people will go there and do their transactions. But you got to see a little bit more, right?
Yeah.
When we went upstairs and you guys saw
the authentication stuff.
Yeah, so they
were really
they
nice.
just peek in here, do that. But it's really professional, it's really streamlined, and they were just like, give us some time. And so we just went and got some food and took a few hours, and that was that.
Yeah, they were super cool.
How long was the process, like start to finish?
Start to finish, how long was the process?
Yeah, like how long was it? You dropped it off. How long until you picked it up?
2.5 hours.
It was like 3.5 hours. I would say 3 because we flew there and then flew back the same day.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
3.5 hours.
Did you get like VIP service where they like popping champagne when you walked in the door or anything?
I know they were going about they had other people. There was a lot of other stuff. They gave us a lanyard, but been trying to since I've been there. I always try to leave with the lanyard, and they'd be like, "No." I'm like, "I spent so much money with you guys, and you guys can't even give me the lanyard." But no, they were super nice. We got to meet the president. We met like a lot of nice people,
and we also got to see the shimmer.
The shimmer, yeah.
One because it was sent in from China at the same time.
Oh yeah, I saw a picture that they were at the same time at the place at the same time.
They showed us that as soon as it was graded, and we were like, "Oh, cool!" Like that's a cool experience. Cool.
That's wild. That's wild. Now, another thing that had me really curious. So you guys get it back home, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did you have to contact somebody for guidance of like to getting the thing insured or talking to like a financial advisor? Like this is such a big event in your life. Like who did you talk to for like counsel?
I went straight to a safe deposit box and that was it.
We're
not ready to sell it at this moment unless something really moved us, but it was at that time, of course, I called my tax guy immediately.
See what
yeah, but it's, that's once it was graded, and it got a 10, that was it.
And were you expecting a 10? Was it one of those things where you went and you're like, this thing's perfect?
She said it the whole time. I after it was pulled, I never even saw it again until we went to PSA. Like I didn't want to even look at it. I'm like, oh, it's in there. We had it. Like
I thought everyone knew.
We as soon as it happened, I'm over like, is any
all
I'm
the
looking
doors locked?
Yeah, like everything just changed in the main mission was just getting that card to PSA.
Dude, I'd have been like you for sure.
Even if it was
like tomorrow.
And even because when we were going to see it, I was even going to see if I wanted just authentication and stuff like that. As soon as we pulled it out the thing, it looked like you can the video on the thing, it just looked nice. And she kept telling me, she was like, no, because she saw it way more than me, and she kept telling me like, no, it's going to be a 10 because we graded before, nothing this big at all.
But many
times. But she's always the one always. But hey, babe, can you look at this? Check the corners, check the centering, check all this. Yeah, she's the eyes. It's like I catch feelings for a card and I'm like, no, that's a 10. And then it comes back, it's a 7. You're like,
it's a little off.
Yeah.
It's funny because I had the same response. We were talking and going over some of the questions, and I was like, well, I would have just taken it straight to a safety deposit box. I'm like, I don't want that anywhere near,
where we got dogs. Like, I don't need dogs.
Yeah. What if our house like all the bad things, you think about all the bad things.
Yeah. All right. Well, my last question, I'm very curious because after getting to know you guys, I think I got a better idea of who you guys are and, kind of what your attitude is. But what would you say to somebody who's at that hobby shop right now, staring at the shelf, looking at a hobby box, contemplating if they should throw down their hard-earned cash for that box? What's your advice to that person? Do it or don't.
I would say don't, and I would say, and I know the hobby doesn't like breakers and stuff, but I would say go to a good breaker or something like a Hitman Rips, a Shy City or something like that, and kind of just so you're not having to blow out a whole $1,000 or $500, and just get a spot. I don't know.
I think a
spread
spot
the money out a little bit.
Yeah, a little,
yeah. Because then if you're just a regular person and you're just buying, what are you gonna do with all the other stuff that you get? Like, if you don't have a store, if you don't have, you know what I mean? You just have all these cards for what? It's a way better chance getting in a break. I would think so too.
If I was to tell somebody other than like get some wrestling cards, like, but that's just like that's just personally me. But
get what you like.
I'm not, and I'm not. I took so many L's in this hobby, and I feel like a lot of people have. So I'm not the person to listen to about it, because I'm like I'll take a L and I'll be like, oh shucks, all right, on to the next one. But
nah, that's true. You're very aware of the fact that this was a lightning once in a million, never gonna happen. Probably
that's it. I don't want to give them. I don't want to give the hobby no money back yet right now. I'm finally in the positive right now. I was
it's like you beat the house, and it's like everybody get the heck out of here.
Yeah, let's go.
It's over. It's over.
Walk with it now.
Well, you guys are awesome, man. I really just want to thank you immensely for taking the time to talk with us. You guys are super cool.
Thank you so much.
I'm hoping we can keep in touch. You guys seem like super cool people.
Oh yeah, no. Anytime you guys said you guys were from out here in California, we're gonna have to meet up sometime for sure.
For sure.
Absolutely.
Drinks on us, for sure.
We're OG Californians. We're both OG Californians, so I'm sure.
Oh, yeah, that's what I was like, okay.
Yeah, we both grew up outside of San Diego, but I spent a lot of time camping growing up where you guys live. I spent a lot of time.
Oh, okay.
In your neck of the woods.
Perfect.
Well, appreciate you guys much. That's Cool Factor Cards. It doesn't get any better than that right there.
Sounds like a break to me.
Wemby 101.